I suppose this is where we part ways. For now, at least. Would that I had sage words of wisdom to share ere you depart. Mayhap the teachings of Caliph Baldesin will suffice. Surrender not to anger or hatred, he said. Look beyond them, and there find truth's strength. What one sees beyond is open to interpretation, I think, but for me, it would be the things I cherish most in life. Things I believe are worth fighting for. Something to consider as you venture onto the sea of stars. Oh my goodness! Alpha is here! Hi!
Oh, Alpha!
Quick! Why are you still saying Quay? I should be able to understand you. Alpha appears to be trying to cheer you on. Blip bloop. The miniature model of Omega appears to be staring intently at the Ark. Varshan. Man is said to fear what he does not know, yet you would venture onto the greatest of unknowns. I say to you, daughter of man, that you need not fear. So long as man shares a bond with dragonkind, so too does he share our kinship with the heavens, and our ancient home amidst the stars infinite. I pray you go forth, and prove this bond of ours, tempered and tested, shall endure unbroken for 1,000 years. First the great exodus, and now this. It seems there is no end to our work. In truth, more than a few gleaners were distressed to learn that their earlier efforts were for nothing. It was no easy task convincing them that the new plan was for the best, I can tell you that. I can't tell you every man believes this is the wisest course, but I can say that all will be forgiven if you deliver us from the coming doom. And if you don't, well, at least you won't get the earful, I certainly will. It's troubling enough that the brute Sicard left without warning, leaving me to carry all those cumbersome containers. But that he failed to be present to send you off is absurd. What could possibly be more deserving of his attention at a time like this? It's no easy thing to say, leave the star to us, but we must, and we will. As proud members of the Scions, we have a duty to uphold. And we needn't do so alone. Those dark days when we were driven from the rising stones and hunted as traitors are a thing of the past. We have allies in abundance now. Which is to say, you needn't worry about us. Go forth in the knowledge that the Scions will labor without rest in your absence. Though our fellow Scions couldn't be here, they wanted me to tell you that, no matter what calamity may befall us, they will never give up, and neither should you. No matter how far you may go, we will be with you in spirit. No matter how dark it may seem, your light will shine and endure. Mrs. Cryle tells me your investigation into my theories on Akasha and its relation to the final days has made clear the source of our woes. I'm elated to know my work was of some benefit, but I could not have shared it had you not rescued me from the tower that day. I yet owe you a great debt, one I may never fully repay, but I shall try nonetheless. Not only through my research, but through my desire to see you succeed, which I believe may influence the Akasha in our favor, small though the effect may be. Yes, so long as we have hope, there is a chance we may influence the outcome of this calamity. We were quite fortunate that Loport's hyperhopper was based on principles similar to those of etherology. Integrating it with the Ark's existing systems might well have been impossible otherwise. We may have Sharlayan's wealth of knowledge at our disposal, but theirs is technology far beyond anything we have ever studied. You're familiar with teleportation magics, yes? The momentary conversion of the body into ether that it may travel via the life stream from one physical point to another. Their hopper enables transport through a similar method, but not one involving the life stream. Rather, it utilizes highly condensed ether to create an ethereal current of its own. This current is exponentially faster and more powerful than the naturally occurring ones to which we are accustomed. So much so, in fact, that ethereal conversion of the physical form is not a prerequisite for traversal. If you're concerned about side effects, such as ethereal sickness, you needn't be. You should emerge at your destination hale and whole. In theory. At the very least, I can assure you it's safer than the experimental etherites you used to reach Rodzathan. Mumbrida has been on my mind more often of late. How different her life might have been if not for our research into teleportation magics. Perhaps she would never have gained an interest in ethereological studies. But to abandon our work out of misplaced guilt for who she could have been would be a disservice to the memory of who she was. Nay, it was because of her that we found the resolve to carry on. And now we stand at the edge of a new frontier, with a ship ready to bear you onto the distant stars and beyond. This arc is as much her accomplishment as it is ours. I regret nothing. Now the Scions. G'raha, baby. So this is the ship that will bear us onto Ultima Thule. Really? This is all you have to say? That even with Sun and Blovida should be in attendance is most unexpected, but I'm nonetheless heartened by their presence. For so many to see us off like this seems wholly unnecessary. Still, I will not begrudge them for wishing us well. This is the pinnacle of etherochemistry, a synthesis of modern innovation and ancient wisdom of Alag. The Ark's engine appears to be capable of processing condensed ether in quantities I never thought possible. I wasn't expecting quite so many people to be seeing us off. They said work on the Ark is finished, but you certainly wouldn't know by looking at it. Let us hear what Father has to say. Wataru? I'll send word to the Alliance leaders the very moment the ship takes off. Obviously they couldn't be here, but I'm sure they will be cheering for you every step of the way. Quite the turnout, wouldn't you say? Then again, who wouldn't want to be present for a once-in-a-lifetime event? The Ark is missing one last, but very crucial component before we are ready to take off. He should be arriving shortly. What? We are ready to go! Alpha.
E-10.
All present and accounted for? Good. As you will have heard, the Ark is ready. All that remains is to board and be on your way.
He is so nervous.
I've seen my fair share of tight schedules, but this was bloody murder. But we did it. We finished the ship. It's safe, fit for purpose, and looks good to boot. Aye, it's a garland through and through.
I really don't know what we'd do without you. Thank you for everything.
Ah, don't mention it. Ever since that episode with Omega, I've been toying with the idea of star-faring vessels. And as they say, necessity is the mother of invention.
Oh, Alpha.
We've learned a lot, let me tell you. In case you're wondering about payment, the ongoing existence of the world ought to do. But feel free to throw in a colorful recounting of your journey on your return. So, have you thought of a name?
A name? Wasn't everyone just calling it Father's teeny tiny toy boat?
Well, seeing as its purpose has changed, I thought a more eloquent name was in order. I suggested as much to Fortunato, who seemed quite amenable to the idea.
As you know, this vessel is the culmination of heretofore unprecedented collaboration. And though said collaboration is owed to the Scions, there is another whose noble deeds made our work possible. From a fragment of Dalamud, we obtained not only advanced materials such as refined adamantite, but the knowledge to traverse the stars. And this fragment
Or
would not have
Midgard
found its
somewhere.
way to us had the Archon Louisois not fought to protect this world. And in so doing, laid down his life. Now that the vessel stands complete, I cannot help but wonder if it was more than mere happenstance. If it was my father's intention to guide us here. In the hopes that his guidance will see you all safely home, I name the vessel after that self-same fragment of Dalamud he delivered unto us. The starship Ragnarok.
Oh, Ragnarok. A very unfortunate name, actually.
Sorry for the wait. I got everyone you asked for, and not a one less.
What? The Beast Tribe skin!
What are you all doing here?
It's not fine to...
I invited them. The representatives of those tribes with religious inclinations.
It's not fine to call them beast tribes now. Just... We shall call them just tribes.
You've done a fine job of readying the Ragnarok, but for it to take flight, we'll of course need the power of the Mother Crystal. Given its immense size, however, transporting it would be an absolute logistical nightmare, not to mention we'd need to shatter it into tiny shards for feeding to the engines. But a brilliant idea came to me. We convert the crystal's energy into forms that can transport themselves!
Oh?
Thou wouldst employ summoning, or should I say its precursor, creation magics.
Care to explain for our benefit?
As you may have witnessed at Bestway's Burrow, the Loperids are capable of creation magics, which they use to shape the moon's environment. Yet simple though they make it seem, 'tis a highly advanced and exacting art. To perform it correctly requireth that the wielder holdeth the object in his mind's eye in clearest detail.
Hence the ancients' meticulous management of concepts.
Drawing upon this art, the Ascians conceived of summoning as we know it. A derivative that replaceth the complexity of concepts with the simplicity of zealotry to make manifest a creation.
I see. By combining the Loperit's magics and the tribe's faith, we convert the Mother Crystal into primals of purer form and greater obedience.
How the turntables, are we going to allow them to summon primals for us?
Summoning as it was intended, one might say.
Indeed! Indeed! While Hydaelyn gave us the ability to use creation magics, she forbade us from using it to make anything possessed of a soul, or similar. She didn't say anything about fulfilling the desires of others, though. So, borrowing our friend's faith, we'll create deities using the Mother Crystal's power and send them to the Ragnarok!
Am I the only one here concerned about the risk of being turned into a tempered minion?
Oh, right, I was getting to that. From what I've read in Sharlayan tomes, it appears the Ascians incorporated an additional nasty element into their summoning method. The fervent desire to assimilate others into one's belief. Beings thus created are instilled with the self-same desire and use their powers to enthrall people, starting with the summoner. In contrast, our creation magics, the original and the best, except no substitutes, don't incorporate any of that rubbish, so there's no risk of tempering. I mean, if the being was on the scale of Zodiac, you might feel a little tug. But I think we'll be safe enough.
Truth be told, I do not understand the intricacies of this plan. But none of us would ever turn our backs on you. When the avatars of our faith ran amok, you intervened without decrying we who birthed them. Where others vilified and suppressed us, you offered understanding and friendship. In gratitude, we will share with you the true expressions of our gods. Not malevolent deities, but benevolent saviors.
Alright, you lot, we're heading to the ethereal sea. Stay in sight, else you're liable to get lost.
Lead the way.
May we have a moment?
Sure.
In anticipation of the day man might journey to the stars, we developed these.
What?
Portable teleportation devices. One for each of you, designed to work in tandem. Press the button on one, and in a matter of moments, all 8 will activate and send their owners back to the Ragnarok. There is no telling what hazards you may encounter. If you find yourself separated or lost, please do not hesitate to use them.
No, thank you. That's very useful.
Be safe, all of
Hearthstone, basically.
you, and come back.
That looks suspiciously like a tombstone.
You as well. I pray you take care.
Looks like everything is in order. So I'll go ahead and board. A few of my fellows will remain to assist with the summonings, but rest assured, the vessel won't want for competent crewing.
If you are ready, then you should board as well. Go. And Godspeed.
Oof. I am excited. I'm feeling a little bit of dread. I'll have to remember to thank Totaro for her timely provisions of food and drink. Poor Wedge would have long since given up from exhaustion otherwise. But now the rest is up to you. Come back safe, alright? I'm going to check with G'raha as well, just in case. Oh! Okay, he says something new. So the stage is set. I can but hope we are prepared to play our parts when we arrive on Ultima Thule. The key, I suspect, may lie with Heidel's parting message to us. Darkness and light, despair and hope. As goes one, so goes the other. Knowing Meteion wields the power of despair, we must bring to bear hope in equal measure. I would rather not spend any longer mulling our strategy. None of us are strangers to despair. If that's the source of our power, we are ready for it. I am most grateful Wilsfun and Blowida have devised a contingency should the need to flee arise, though I pray it shall not. We must needs strive for victory to the last, that Ithris and her people survive, and that her champions return home, without exception. Primal summoning, as it was intended. I never dared to consider they could be invoked without the danger of tampering. Change has come quickly to this star, and greater change yet awaits in the days to come. All the more reason we must not fail. Venturing quite literally into the unknown, we have to be ready for anything. As I said before, whatever awaits us there, we will survive. We must. Mother, Father, Grandfather, we will save this star and return home, I promise. The Ragnarok, and thus does Grandfather's legacy live on. We mustn't waste any more time. Let us board and set out for Ultima Thule. Ameliance would not be joining us, I'm afraid. She could not bear to watch our children embark on so perilous a mission. Make no mistake, I feel the same. I cannot tell you how many times I had to step away from my duties, so distracted by thoughts of all the ways it could go wrong. Even now a part of me wants to drag them away and forbid. Well, not that they would listen. So I will see them off with pride in my heart and a prayer on my lips. For my children, and for the star they love so dearly, you must prevail. Okay, Wedge, are you going to say something? You haven't forgotten anything, have you? No repairs or commissions? A delivery from retainers, perhaps? No? Well, if there's nothing else, have a safe journey. I'm going to talk to Nero last. I want that sass. The Ragnarok is a collaborative effort in every sense. The culmination of knowledge from the world's greatest minds, both past and present. Without question, the greatest ship ever built. The world cannot end now, not when we have but scratched the surface of the Loporrit's technological know-how. So oh my god. So run along now, and do what it is you wanted to heroes do best. The world shall tremble before my genius soon enough, assuming you're able to prevent its destruction, that is. Upon boarding the Ragnarok, several cutscenes will play in sequence. Yes, yes, I have enough time. Oh, look at all those Loporrits. I couldn't take a screenshot properly. Oh, the pilot is sleeping, of course.
Of course the pilot.
He's the sleeping one anyway.
Welcome to the bridge, everyone! I hope you have everything, because I can't be bothered turning back. Right then, make yourselves comfortable. We're setting off in just a moment.
It's incredible.
This is Fortuno. Can you hear me? The preparations for the summonings are complete. In accordance with the 14th phase of the plan, we have moved the Ragnarok to the launch site. The gates are open. You may depart when ready.
So, are we ready?
Yes, we are.
As ready as we'll ever be. Let's get going.
Oh, come on. The burnt out star's got more fire in its belly. Try it again, with feeling.
Issue the command to launch. Have Alphinaud do the honors. Ah, I'm going to leave it to Alphinaud.
Me? But I...
Come on, Alphinaud. You like talking.
No need to be coy, brother. Do it. And do it well.
If you all insist.
Onward unto the distant stars and beyond. Ragnarok, engage. Engage!
Engage!
Oh my goodness! Oh my. Oh. Oh, wow. You must be joking. This is 1.0 trailer part. This is from 1.0 trailer.
Oh.
into the sky, I cannot imagine a greater indignity.
Do not sulk so. For thy mighty winds exist not only to buffet and batter. Nay, they may serve also to thrust forth with vigor. Such is thy glory, and thus it is an occasion to rejoice.
You and your rejoicing.
Let us revel!
So long as the wind blows freely, I suppose all is as it should be in creation. I will render unto them a storm, that they may pierce the firmament and fly free!
Hyper Hopper.
Yep.
Still in one piece? Good.
What do you mean still?
Sleeping way? Report?
All's well. Fantastic, even. Thanks to the power of those primals, the engines are roaring and we're ripping along.
All values are also within projected ranges. Time to destination is 8 carats. Perhaps 7 at a pinch.
What's a carrot?
Alright, let's go over some points of caution. Our destination, as you know, is Ultima Thule. Lest you wonder, the place is not a star so much as a patch of emptiness. That's the extent of what our equipment could determine, anyway. From what we know of Meteion, she's likely used dynamis to obfuscate her location.
So, in conclusion, we'll only know what's there when we get there.
The crew and I will see to it the ship's ready to take off at a moment's notice. We'll support the search as best we can, but it'll be your paws on the ground, assuming there is any. But everything will be fine, I'm sure. Hydaelyn believes in you, so you ought to believe in yourselves. Just don't do anything I wouldn't, like waiting too long to use those portable teleporters of yours. Personally, at the slightest sign of trouble, I'd mash the button to bits, and you should as well.
Understood. We promise to be careful.
I suggest you brace yourselves. We're about to arrive and the vessel will shake a good bit.
Uh-oh. What?
What is this? Something is... interfering with the equipment.
Greetings. Uh-oh.
Greetings. Can you hear me?
Meteion.
So this is Meteion.
Oh. Have you met one of my sisters? I don't remember meeting you myself. But I do know that you're from Atheris. Why have you come? All you had to do was wait. I would have delivered to you your ends.
We didn't ask for that.
I don't understand. All life is destined to end. Why choose to prolong your suffering? Effort, ambition, love, they amount to naught. Happiness, should you find it, is inevitably lost. Stolen away by events beyond your control. There is no logic nor meaning in it. You think there is. Convince yourselves. But it's all a cruel accident. Come now. I speak the truth. A truth you would recognize if you looked up at the night sky. Unbroken emptiness. Cold, dark, and silent. Your world, like every other, is but a blemish upon its perfect fabric. Life is an anomaly. It is unnatural and cannot continue. The sooner you accept this, the easier it will be.
Just to be clear, we're not here to argue with you. We know that life is fleeting, and that in the short time we have it, we're not assured happiness.
Indeed. I've seen far more sorrow in the eyes of many I've met. I myself have plenty of regrets. And one day they'll die with me. Gone to dust with my good deeds and unfulfilled dreams.
But we accept this. That our existence may seem pointless. That sorrow, rage, and despair will always dog our heels. And we press on regardless. That is why Hydaelyn guided us here. In her boundless love for mankind, she has prepared us for this trial, and in her name, we have come for you.
Yes, I sense it. A burning passion like unto fury. I know it well. For the same passion once burned in many a star before yours. Suffocated and extinguished now. You approach the bounds of my ultimatum, where emotions dictate reality, where resignation and acceptance unite to embrace the end.
No.
Where those who yet valiantly cling to life cannot thrive.
What? Where's Thancred?
By the Fury. Thancred?
Where's Thancred?
Meteion has gone as well. Mayhap he awakened first and gave chase.
Everyone? It appears we are at our destination. This is Ultima Thule.
Not that we knew what to expect, but I wasn't expecting this. From atmospheric composition to ambient temperatures, all reading to within permissible range. This place is capable of supporting life.
Why? All she wanted was death.
If that's the case, then Thancred may well have gone on ahead. Let's go and have a look.
Capable of supporting life, but does it have it?
Meanwhile, I want the rest of you to perform a full inspection of the ship, as well as a biological scan.
Why build a place that is capable of supporting life?
So it was that the brave wayfarers arrived at last at Dream's End. In following their path walked and history written, I am made keenly aware of one truth. Though the curtains may fall again and again, so long as others take the stage, ever shall there be more tales to tell.
Oh my goodness.
So, let them bring it to a close, I say. Let the curtains fall upon this, the final chapter in the tale of the star.
Is this a dead star?
As I live and breathe, I live and breathe. Well, the environment itself shouldn't kill us.
Well then, let us search for Thancred while exploring the area. The ship we leave in your care.
This is some kind of variation of the music that was playing at the beginning of the launch trailer. If Meteion should strike again with such overwhelming force, I honestly don't know how we are to oppose her. We were clearly no match for Meteion, yet we survived unscathed. But how? It is as Living Way said, I can breathe well enough, but something about this place feels wrong. Didst thou witness what became of Thancred? So quickly was I overcome by Meteion's malevolence that I saw naught of their altercation. There is a dizzying, disorienting feeling about this place, as if I could lose my footing at any moment. We must be careful. It's so dark, I can barely see anything. Okay, Living Way. I can't guarantee it will be of help in these strange surrounds, but I have ready the provisions note in case of emergency. Of course, if you encounter any real danger here, I expect you to return to the Ragnarok at once. We are fortunate this place can support life, albeit barely, I suspect, given the torpid, stale quality of the air. But never mind that. We must find Thancred. Let's begin our search from the prow of the ship. It seems as good a direction as any. Try not to stray too far, lest we lose sight of one another. What the... Wait, you're... Oh. Oh. Oh my. Oh, these are... some of them are still alive.
Yeah.
Well, if you can call them alive.
Oh my, this one is like melting.
What is in front of it? What is this thing? I see no one else in this barren waste, do you? Then why do I feel like we are not alone? Like there is another presence with us. Something dark and mournful. These remains have long since turned to ash, and yet they retain their form. There's a structure here in front of me, yes? A tower of some sort, partially melted? In a strange twist of fate, it seems our perception of this place is not so different as it would be elsewhere. The world as I used to see it. It feels as though I'm dreaming while awake. This is more than the faded memory Meteion led us to believe. What was this, I wonder? Oh, that's the only thing you're saying. Ruins. But of what, I wonder? Perhaps we can find something to help us understand the nature of this place. A relic, an inscription, anything. Anything else you're going to say, Alphinaud? Be careful, Alia. I cannot shake the feeling we are being watched. Gods, you don't think there are ghosts here, do you? That is your concern, Alphinaud, right now? The metallic pillar has been partially melted, sometime in the distant past. The damage does not appear to have been inflicted deliberately. Rather, it calls to mind the indiscriminate destruction often wrought in the heat of battle. Look here, this part is relatively intact. The intricate design of the top suggests it's man-made, though its builders were surely not men as we conceive of them. Having said that, I swear I have seen this pattern before. Come to you.
And yes, Luke.
Oh my goodness. I will be looking everywhere, and you know it, right? I thought this hill might afford a better view of our surroundings. A poor decision in hindsight. Besides the light from the ship, all is shrouded in darkness. If Thancred is here, I would never know it. From what I can tell, we are near the edge of an island, if you can call it that, surrounded by floating debris. Have care should you decide to climb higher. Were you to fall, you might well tumble through the great expanse for all eternity. And before I die, suffocate and stuff, right?
Yep.
There are some buildings over there. Over here.
Oh.
On the far away island.
Oh.
And a platform up ahead. Do you see that? With lights around it. Why do I constantly feel dread right now? Why? Were you able to find anything? Nope. As I feared. And still no trace of Thancred. There's nothing but emptiness as far as the eye can see, which, unfortunately, isn't very far. Though I can't help but suspect that someone or something is here. There are times when I sense it drawing close, and then a chill washes over me, leaving me exhausted. Leaving me with feelings of death and anguish. I think I might see something over there. Or I felt it too when I was near that thing. I'm going to choose the second one. What? What are you talking about? There's nothing there. What? Am I the only one who sees it? Before we jump to any conclusions, perhaps we should search elsewhere. Agreed. We have found only more questions when we are in desperate need of answers. There is a fair stretch of terrain from the ship's starboard we have yet to explore. Let us try searching there then. Okay, guys. Where is Thancred?
So they can't see the dragon.
No. Alia, a word before we join the others. You see them too, don't you? The dragons. What? Oh, you see them as well.
I thought you would.
As I thought. Their presence is tenuous at best, but there's no mistaking it. No doubt your bond with Midgardsormr and mine with Nidhogg is what allows us to perceive them. Ah, so because of our bond with the dragons, we see them. Could these apparitions be related to the dragons that now live on Etheris? I have no idea. Bah, better to leave such conjecture to the others. In any case, we must be careful. We may soon find dragons they can see as well. Death and anguish. What happened to them, I wonder?
And also weird other dragon.
Yes, but they are not enemies.
Oh, hello.
My sight may have been restored after a fashion, but I fear what I see cannot be trusted. It's as if Meteion herself has etched these images upon my heart. I doubt not that such a feat is within her power, given that she constructed this sanctuary herself. Surely mine eyes deceive me. This cannot be possible. Look there. Are those ghosts, do you think? Seriously, are you still scared? Dragons. It's true they are not of our world, but to find them in a prison of despair. It seems these dragons have yet to succumb completely to the darkness of this place, meaning the others should see them as well. Hi, dragons. You look like mist dragons.
Dragons? Here?
What you see is a memory of a world that once was. A world suffering a slow death, whose denizens cried out for the release of oblivion.
What? Their world is dead?
It is. Not a single life remains upon that husk floating in the vast emptiness. These creatures are shadow and shade, perpetuated only to suffuse dynamis with their unending lamentations.
Our friend Thancred. Where is he?
Yeah, where is he?
A strange question. He is at your side, is he not?
What?
Oh yes. He is here and there, and everywhere within this space. He would tell you himself if he had form to form words.
What do you mean?
What did you do?
If you touched him...
Huh. Such loathing and uncertainty. You don't know why you still exist. In like manner to the oblivion I send. I tried to drown out your ether with dynamis. Beginning with this Thancred, who came at me despite being unable to breathe. Such a simple thing, unmaking men. In the blinking of an eye, he was gone. Didn't even have the chance to be transformed.
What do you mean he was gone?
Yet somehow, he managed to leave a slither of himself behind. What you call the heart? Or perhaps the soul. In his final moment, he cried out from it. A single word. Survive. That wish proved stronger than the despair that ruled here. It overpowered it, causing this space to be remade.
Is he dead? Like,
No.
seriously
Into a
dead?
place you can perceive, and where life can endure. That you draw breath is proof that his soul lives on. For how long, however, remains to be seen.
Well then,
We should hurry and tend to business.
It's futile. You will never reach the true me. I told you, emotions dictate reality in this space. Such changes as you might work will not alter its nature. You may see, but you cannot touch. Walk, but not advance.
Is Thancred really dead?
Meteion holds too much sway here. How do we contend with a foe who can unmake us on a whim?
I do not know. But Thancred gave his life that we might come this far. We must press on.
What a way to start.
Agreed. We cannot turn tail here. Not without something to show for our comrade's sacrifice.
He can't really be gone, can he? Meteion herself said his soul persists, that he is the reason we are still breathing. If so, then maybe... My aim was true, I had her. How are we to defeat an enemy we can't attack? I'm thinking the same, Estinien. I understand now why the Loports were surprised to find that this environment could sustain life. There but for Thancred's sacrifice. It's hard to believe Thancred was able to overcome Meteion's will, yet here we are. Would that the price for his victory had not been so high. His will was strong enough to reshape Ultima Thule that we might survive, that I might see again. His sacrifice must not be wasted. Soul without body, a form of being with which we are not wholly unfamiliar. Indeed, for we existed in a similar state when residing in the first. The circumstances are rather more dire than that, is true, but I choose to believe he is not forever lost to us. Regardless, in sacrifice he hath afforded us a chance to prevail. Let us not squander it, and ascertain the nature of this realm that we might confront and defeat Meteion. Estinien, Alia, would you accompany me in speaking with these dragons? Mayhap they can enlighten us. I would ask the rest of you to survey these surroundings. If there is a path that may lead us to our quarry, we must find it. Very well, we can reconvene here when everyone has finished. Meteion said these dragons are shadow and shade, from a world whose denizens sought oblivion. As such, they are not like to be amenable to company, let alone conversation, so please be careful. Let us split up and gather what knowledge we may. So, these dragons are from the Dragonstar. That's the world that she talked about that was obliterated. Because from there, only Midgard Sommer and his eggs came to Hydaelyn.
Also the quest name.
Unburdened wings and with those weird... Yeah, every quest name here is with weird... characters. A visitor, not of this star. Could thy slender hands bring plague to our world? Thy breath extinguished life's feeble flame? Oh, how we would adore thee, alas. With time our flesh shall wither, our souls fade, and so we wait for its inexorable march onto oblivion. If thou art not come to hasten our demise, I bid thee leave us. We crave not companionship, only silence. Beyond that distant veil, paradise lost, so glorious, so beautiful. We were a proud and noble race, strength embodied. We knew only love before they came. Metal monstrosities of black and silver, no bonds of blood did they share, nor conviction did they have to guide them. A crushing defeat, never had we known such shame. Stilled now are the winds, though none could feel these wings burdened by ignominy. We fly no more, only sink into oblivion. These are some very depressed dragons.
Yeah.
Thou wouldst bid me speak? Folly. I observe the lesson of stone. I shall not fly, nor speak, nor roar, only watch and wait and end. But one sight yet stirreth my blood, tempteth me to raise my voice in lamentation. Amnol, the cradle of unsung dragons. No words, no songs are possessed of the height to describe such tragedy. Go, if that be thy will, I shall remain. Are those eggs?
Not entirely sure.
They led you here as well, did they? It was described to me as the source of their woes and proof of their end. I think I'm beginning to see why. It's a hatching ground, or was. I have seen similar on Ethers. Midgardsormr's kind must once have lived and thrived in a place such as this. Ritra said his father was driven from their ancestral home by war and strife. This, then, is the fate of those who remained. Let's have a look around. Maybe these eggs have more to tell of what happened here. Inside the shattered egg, you find the remains of an unborn dragon. The body has already begun to decompose. The gelatinous, half-dried membrane covering the corpse suggests it failed to emerge. Now that's sad. A murky liquid has pooled inside this eggshell. The noxious voitor is indicative of contamination. Gingerly lifting a large egg from the vicious mire, you peer inside and see a formless mass soaking in a pool of embryonic fluid. Your stomach turns as you turn the egg to its resting place. This is
very disturbing.
Yeah. This egg appears to have been broken from the inside out. Perhaps the dragonet within succeeded in hatching. What's this? I thought all the eggs had been ruined. If the dragonet was indeed hatched, there's no sign of it here. Or its sire, for that matter. We should look for them. You start with the cliff tops, and I'll search the plains. Oh no, it's malformed. We are killing it. Aww. The boisterous howling hath been quieted. By thy hand, I presume. Everything alright? I thought I heard a dragon or something resembling one. There was the little one. I killed it. Ah, I see what's happened here. Was that your child? Oh, come on. Perhaps. Some eggs within our knoll are indeed mine. If life within one did quicken, the beast thou hast slain may be of my blood. Yet I do not recognize it, twisted and malformed as it is. Not a dragon in truth, but a reminder of our failure, a testament to our shame. Explain. Really, Estinien? They descended from the heavens, cold, heartless machines, and with them rode war and death. With fire and fury, rage and rancor, we gave answer. It was a long and bloody battle, but only the beginning. Untold chaos and destruction swept over the star. In the end, the invaders were victorious. Yet when they looked upon their prize, they deemed it unfit for requisition. We were abandoned to our ruin. The survivors sought to put away their shame, to rebuild, a futile effort. In purest soil replete with ether did we once cultivate our nesting grounds. But our lands were barren, and any eggs nurtured in such desolation were fated to rot. But few survived to hatch, emerge as abominations. We shall have no new progeny. But there are dragons among you capable of journeying to other stars. That there are. Many would make the attempt, each bearing a clutch of eggs. The richest stars were home to the harshest rulers, and the arrival of dragons incited contests for supremacy. When the fires faded, the wars lost and won. They too were reduced to ash and waste. It's the curse of those who seek life, to be drawn into conflict, to conquer, or be conquered. A vicious cycle we now choose to break. We tire of conflict, of everything. We wait now in sweet, merciful silence, free from strife and suffering, still as stone. Wait! You claim your kind is doomed, but there's another star.
Not listening.
No.
He put Estinien on ignore.
But, your kind lives! Literally! They want only to brood in silence, to be left alone with their grief until time itself comes to an end. The sole reward for senseless bloodshed. A pain I understand, and wish that I did not. What fools we were. But now isn't the time for such thoughts. The others will want to hear what we have learned. Come. With luck, they will have learned something to help us devise a plan of action. I chanced to gain audience with several dragons ere we returned, though I expect their tales are much the same as those you heard. We would hear what the dragons had to share with you. Even if it's no different from what they told Urianger, it would have value. Did your exploration prove eventful? Converse with any dragons? Good to see you made it back in one piece. The more I see of this place, the more bewildering it becomes. Were you able to establish any meaningful contact with the dragons? Yes.
But not meaningful.
Well, we know where they are from. I see. They wish to escape what they perceive to be a cycle of conflict. Thank you, Alia. Estinien. As for our part, I believe we are more acutely aware of our confines than before. We started by traversing the perimeter of the island to see if there might be a path leading off of it. Sadly, there was nothing to be found. There's no small amount of debris floating about. Could there be enough to serve as a bridge to lead us elsewhere? I considered that, and so I tried throwing a stone onto a potential platform to judge its integrity. But it never reached this mark. As it crossed an invisible threshold just beyond the boundaries of this island, it vanished, only to reappear above me and fall at my feet. I would not be too quick to presume that what we see outside the space is as it appears.
Ah.
Which is why I turned to the Ragnarok and asked the Loporrits to search for a potential path. However, the ship's instruments failed to provide conclusive data on the surrounding area. Until we know more, I think it too risky to attempt flying to another island. What Meteion told us before, that emotions dictate reality here, might be the key. But I'm not entirely sure what emotion might manifest a bridge to lead us to safety. That might be a problem. So what are you saying is... we have no way forward. At present, aye. If it's indeed emotion that governs this island, perhaps it's not Meteion's, but the dragons that holds us here. They tired of conflict and have chosen a path of oblivion to escape it. Or rather, they have chosen no path at all, meaning there's no way for the dragons or anyone here on this island to advance. A sound theory, disheartening though it may be. If that's the case, what recourse do we have? They are not like to be persuaded to help us. Their reasoning is built on a history of turmoil and strife. Without irrefutable proof, the future is not as bleak as they believe it to be. Mayhap persuasion is not the answer. What? Meteion meant to unmake us then and there on the Ragnarok, and she would have succeeded if not for Thancred's determination. She considered it was strong enough to overpower the despair that otherwise rules Ultima Thule, and reshape it to a degree. Perhaps it can be done again in like manner, by overpowering the prevailing emotions. It was Ultima Thule's architect, Meteion herself, against whom Thancred did pit himself in a clash of wills. Though I marked no leader among them, as such, I did chance to encounter a dragon possessed of despair far more potent than most. Potent enough, mayhap, to dictate the course of others, and thus their domain to follow. He spoke but few words, carefully chosen, their tone and timbre alone threatening to rend my heart in twain. Challenging his desire to remain may allow us to alter the island upon which we stand. Alas, I fear my wonted rhetoric availed me not against his falsifying heart, but mayhap one of you will fare better. Well, I can try. I can try. Then I shall guide thee. Al-End, they call him, in the dragon tongue. Thou wilt find him nearby, eyes fixed upon the water. Well, what have we to lose? Let's get going. Estinien wants to say something, I suppose. Nope.
He remaineth as he was when I first approached, entombed in melancholy.
I see. Perhaps I could...
I'll handle this.
Yeah, leave it to Estinien. Leave it to the dragoon guy to talk to the dragons.
So, waiting to die like all the others, are you?
Aye, our pride is crushed and our souls corrupted. The winds are stilled and the heavens offer no comfort. There is nothing left for our kind. Our long lives a curse as we await the end. Still as stone we shall become. Oops, sorry.
So you say. Yet your kind has found a new beginning on our star. One of you braved the expanse, bearing with him a clutch of eggs. They and their children now rule our skies, their song heard by all.
Our kin? On another star? And yet, upon thee do I smell the blood of my brethren. Were they drawn into discord and war on their new home?
They were. They suffered much, and repaid their suffering in kind.
It mattereth not whither we fly. Ever will a sanguine ocean await us. Ever will retribution's wheel turn. And so, on the lust of my pride as a dragon, I break free of this wheel. I renounce conflict, exile myself from the other, never again to be touched by the flames of hatred.
Had your brethren made the selfsame choice, my family might still be alive. Yet lasting peace does not come to those who simply retreat from conflict. No, you must be willing to confront it.
Oh, the music.
To stare into the face of your foe and see yourself in him. Only then can you break the cycle of torment and tragedy. This lesson, a dear friend taught me at the risk of his life.
Dear friend, and Alphinaud is like, what?
There is no nobility in your penance. You wallow in self-pity. And after everything we've endured, we will not let you stop us.
Estinien!
No,
Stay
his
back.
will is stronger than that. We tire of war. We tire of turmoil. Dignity tarnished, crimson stained. Our misery, our shame, too much to bear. Release us from war, from life.
I see. This is the emotion that bars our way. The rest is up to you.
What?
Oof. Estinien's gone. Dead. D-E-D dead.
No, please don't. Like, please.
No, not Estinien too.
Please. No. I can't take it.
There's a wind.
He's opened the way for us. Sacrificed himself to remake this place, like Thancred did.
No.
Oh, Alphinaud.
Come.
Oh, come on.
Let us follow the wind. It will not lead us astray. He would not.
Don't tell me they are going to die one by one like this. Must this always be the price paid for safe passage? If I had known this place would claim Estinien too, No, it's what had to be done. As by the beating of mighty winds doth wind blow, where dragons may never again touch the sky. He and the shade he bore shall soar free. The wind has stayed the fog that covered this island, and the air. It no longer feels quite so stifling. Look there, the wind. Yes, the wind. This is Estinien's doing, I'm sure of it. We should ride its flow and see where it leads. A powerful gale has delivered you to another island. The other Scions should arrive before long. He did it. He found a way forward for us. The dragons remained trapped within a prison of their own making, lamenting the horrors of war. Yet Estinien knew them better than most. He was a man of honor and a dear friend, willing to fight to the very end for what he believed was right. And he's still fighting, Alphinaud, just like Thancred. Their sacrifices are why we can survive here. Why we still have a chance to stop her. Even in spirit, they are unwilling to give in to despair, and we mustn't either. Alisaie is right. We must press on, for their sake. If anything happens to G'raha and the twins, to feign bravery with bold words is a simple matter, but without the strength of will to match, we are powerless against dynamists. Not less than unshakable conviction will suffice, which makes me question if I'm up to the task. Unshakable conviction and you're questioning yourself? Really, G'raha? No choice have we but to march onward, lest we squander their noble sacrifices. Though it pains me to say it, we can ill afford to stop and grieve our comrades' passing. No, there will be time enough after. We have to keep going, even if Estinien isn't here to see it. I'm sure Alphinaud wouldn't want to disappoint him. As Y'shtola and Alisaie said, we must continue. Notice the change in our surroundings? Perhaps this is a memory of an altogether different world. It would be prudent to learn more of it then. Tread carefully, lest we lose our footing in the sand. Were it not for the violet crystal embedded in its surface, it would appear as ordinary stone. A curious script hath been etched upon them. Alas, it is not a language with which I am familiar. I cannot say I recognize it either. Nor I. The dragons, from what I recall, preserve their knowledge in song and eschew the written word entirely. So we may assume this is the work of another race, one we had yet to encounter. Meteion claimed the dragon's world suffered a slow death, seeking the release of oblivion. What life we find here, like as not, doth wend its way towards a similar end. What do you suppose that is over there? I'm not sure. It's hard to make out at this distance, but its surface seems to bear the same crystals as this monument, meaning there's a chance we may find whoever built them both. We should go and have a look. Come on. Hello? What are you? Hail, travelers. This is a most unexpected occurrence. Hello? Is this your home? Indeed it is. Oh, forgive me. I had forgotten. An exchange of introductions is expected when first meeting those with whom one is unacquainted. What the... What? When the vibration of vocal folds was still required to convey our thoughts and intention, Ea, I believe, was the pronunciation used when referring to our people. Though it's not entirely applicable given our present state, you are welcome to use this appellation. As for nomenclature to address my individual person, I believe it would be pronounced Kov-Kod, I think. Yes, Kov-Kod of the Ea. You have encountered beings that communicate intermittently through thought, but never one that is wholly without voice. I presume we are having this conversation via the medium of ether, or dynamis, as this space is suffused with vast quantities of it. Fascinating in either case. I gather your response to my presence is positive then? That's well, for there's something I wish to ask of you. Like yourselves, we Ea are ether-based lifeforms. Therefore, it may be surmised that your bodies are of comparable biological composition to those we once possessed. I have a number of queries regarding your subjective perception of the 5 senses: sight, sound, taste, touch, and smell. In total, I have prepared 198,712,180,827. What?
Questions, really?
That's rather a lot, isn't it? Ah, my apologies. I omitted a great many details necessary to understand the nature of my request. Though we dispensed with our corporeal vessels long ago, we have rediscovered a need for the flesh, and have endeavored to recreate our erstwhile forms. However, all pertinent records have been lost due to the passage of time. Take, for example, the nervous system. It is well within our power to recreate, but we have no frame of reference for sensations once experienced by our people, which may compromise our ability to interact with our physical environment. And the reason you need to regain corporeal forms? Why? To bring an end to our existence, of course! How cheerful. Though need is perhaps too strong a word. It would be a simple matter to unmake ourselves through use of etheric exsanguinators, but such a death seems inadequate. The traditionalists among us believe proper death requires an inescapable sense of impermanence in one's final moments, an experience found only with bodies of flesh. We should very much like to hear more of your plans. In exchange, we will answer any questions you have to the best of our ability. Such an exchange of information would indeed prove useful. Stop with your head.
Yeah, that's creepy.
Yeah, very well. To ensure efficacious exchange, I hereby invite you to our home. Yes, the abode of the Ea, where we traditionalists prepare for our demise. I presume your consent to answer questions is indicative of a tacit approval of our plans, in which case your cooperation is greatly appreciated. I must caution you, however, to be mindful of the Ea wandering the desert. Their desire for bodies of flesh could be described as overzealous. Now, if you'd follow me. This is going rather smoothly. Not that I'm complaining, mind. Even so, you mustn't forget their aim is oblivion, much like the dragons. Though I fail to see why a civilization so seemingly advanced would choose to unmake all they have created. At any rate, we will find no answers dallying here. Let us be on our way. They said there would be others, but I don't know what I was expecting. Something tells me we have different definitions of the word abode. Probably. The Isle of Dragons was shrouded in the silence of the dead, yet the stillness here doth suggest the Ea are, by and large, merely sleeping. More violet-colored crystals. I cannot place my finger on it, but there's something unsettling about them. I should not be surprised their concept of a village is so different from ours, and yet... Welcome to our abode. Most of our compeers, you will find, remain idle in their domiciles, though your quizzical expressions indicate my phrasing is unclear. I speak, of course, of the violet crystalline structures hanging from the stone structures there. Constructs, sorry. Okay, those are homes? You say they remain idle, but what of your work to regain corporeal bodies? An astute question, and understandable, given your finite nature. We have no desire to pursue our research, for it is no longer necessary. If, in our idleness, we are struck by sudden inspiration, we rise to pursue said inspiration to its conclusion. That's why I was present for your arrival, and why I continue to engage with you still. But while the others are not currently in a motile state, rest assured they would not object were you to disturb their respite. You need only cast your thoughts towards one of their crystalline domiciles to communicate. Oh. Okay. Hello? Is someone inside? You cast your thoughts toward the crystalline domicile, but there is no response. Why am I not surprised? You wish to speak? Very well. Pray a moment, if you would. Why we seek our end, you ask? If you wish to know, I will tell you. Just a moment. I must remember. What form did I take when last I emerged? The strange moaning comes and goes, but soon fades into silence. Did your inquiries yield satisfactory responses? I see. If they fail to answer, then it's likely because their minds have unraveled due to prolonged idleness. They are naught but concentrated ether now. Worry not, there are no others who have need of those lodgings, and they will not prove a hindrance to remain as they are. But more importantly, you said some few did answer your request for an audience, yes? I imagine they will be with us ere long. I had no luck, but everyone else fared well enough. Quite a few Ea have awakened. Ah, there they are. May I introduce you to Lalak, Dudik, and Nenid. Hi, guys. It has been too long, Cuffcode. I dare say Sadr 4 has since completed an orbit. Oh? Indeed. Until the travelers brought it to my attention, I hadn't noticed how unraveled some had become. Travelers? Of course, of course! The ones who wish to know why we seek to regain corporeal forms. The truth of the matter is as plain to see as the neighboring systems, but my single account would fail to satisfy the requirement for scientific objectivity. Thus did I bid them awaken you. What? Am I the only one who struggles to tell who is speaking? Nay, thou art not. In the absence of corporeal forms and the divergence they afford, mayhap such similarity in voice is unavoidable. By the way, Code, have you already observed the requisite custom for the travelers? That which one is expected to do when receiving guests, a matter of proper form? That is not a proper form! Ah yes, so long as it been, it had completely escaped my mind. And still does. What was it again? I can't seem to remember.
Lali-ho.
Guys, stop it. Neither do I. Pity. I was hoping you would. Perhaps we can search the archives for the answer. Come now, Ninid. The archives have long been frozen, lest we subject ourselves to further dollar. Surely you recall that much? Oh, of course! Food! The custom is to serve food! Beings of flesh such as they must regularly replenish their ether. By contributing to their replenishment, we communicate our friendly intention. That's right, that's right! We duly invite you to join us in communal repast, after which we may engage in leisurely conversation. Yeah, they are so cute, but they want to die, so... weird. If we have a chance to learn something, then I see no reason to decline. Okay. Excellent. If you would care to follow, we shall feast you on the purest ether. What do you mean purest ether exactly? How much ether would be adequate for your kind, I wonder? As I recall, there is a fine line between optimal satiation and violent sickness. Throughout the universe, but few races have completely shed their flesh as we have. As a result, we seldom receive visitors from other systems. Extreme differences can inhibit meaningful interaction, you see, and none more so than those which affect communication. Most entities, for example, cannot even comprehend our words. You are rare indeed in your ability to do so. You avail yourselves of dynamis, yes? It's an impressive application, even if it is ultimately pointless like all the rest. That turned dark very quickly. To think that I had forgotten what had become of the archives. How much has my essence deteriorated since last I was awake? Not that I'm averse to having my mind fade away in this manner. It isn't so unlike the natural degradation of one's flesh. How delightful! What? We were told to stand wherever we like. This strikes me as less of a meal and more a ritual. Yeah, it looks like that. Judging by the construction of this facility, it would seem the Ea directly draw upon the ether. Ether, they said, but I can't help but feel a bit nervous. If they are thus able to replenish their ether, the loss of vital sustenance isn't like to be the cause of their demise. If it is as I suspect, then this so-called feast... Actually, let us just see it for ourselves. Fear not, we are not like to come to harm. I hope so, Y'shtola. This facility is where we replenish our ether. There is no particular name for it, but we traditionalists sometimes use the word restaurant. Now then, if you take your place with your comrades, the space will soon be awash with purest ether. Please observe as much as you like. Is that a good idea? You brace yourself for a rush of sweet, sweet ether. But nothing seems to happen. Perhaps you need to wait a little longer. You brace yourself again, but again, nothing seems to happen. Just as I suspected. As meticulously as one might recreate the Ea's homeworld, this is Ultima Thule. One cannot simply generate ether here. As recreations, our friends are oblivious to this fact, to the very truth of their existence, much like the phantoms of the recreated Amarot. However appearances may seem, we must ever be mindful that it is the memories of the dead with whom we deal. Hi guys, yeah, we gorged ourselves upon this ether, So, did you have your fill of ether? Alas, we couldn't absorb it. A deficiency in our forms, it would seem. Oh, how very unfortunate. May I ask how you normally replenish your ether? We eat. And rest. Through your mouths, you say? How very primitive and quaint! To think that their mouths serve not only to expel sound but draw in sustenance besides. Such life forms have long since vanished from our systems. Though we regrettably could not partake of your magnificent feast, rest assured we feel your welcome most keenly. In the course of acquainting ourselves with your sophisticated ways, however, we could not fail but wonder, wherefore do you wish to obtain vessels of flesh and thence to vanish? Will you not favor us with an explanation? You flesh and blood beings are always so hasty. It does have its charm, however. Very well, we shall indulge you. In the beginning, when the Ea yet possessed corporeal bodies, our ancestors dedicated themselves to the pursuit of knowledge and technological advancement. By transcending all limitations, we believed we would eliminate sorrow and abide in true happiness. From the tangible such as land to the intangible such as labor, there exist myriad hindrances to progress, but the most confining of all was the flesh itself. Our natural lifespan was distressingly middling, you see, too short to enjoy unhurried lives, yet too long to be considered disposable. Furthermore, to simply maintain the integrity of our bodies demanded considerable resources. But we managed to solve this problem. After long years, we discovered how to become non-corporeal entities with everlasting lives, untroubled by the failures of the flesh. Thus changed, we had more time and freedom to continue our scientific pursuits. We went on to make even greater strides in our quest to transcend all limitations until we finally decided to challenge the last of them all, the limit of knowledge. That is to say, deciphering the laws of creation. What? We sought to discover how the universe came into being and explain all extant phenomena, and thence predict the future. If we could but achieve this, we believed that we would be free from uncertainty and anxiety. And did you find the answers you sought? Yes, we did. Our efforts revealed to us a fundamental truth. Knowledge of said truth is essential for the continuation of our conversation. If you would learn more, we will share it with you. No, we mustn't! Primitive as they are, it would be unspeakably cruel to deprive them of their ignorance. They are possessed of corporeal forms, their lives readily ended. As those who have gone before, is it not our duty to warn them? Discussion time. What thinkest thou? We have deliberated and come to a consensus, okay? If you are resolved to know it, we will disclose to you the truth we discovered. The truth of the universe. Seek us at the stone pillars just outside the bounds of the abode, a place called Alisaie. Like her master, Y'shtola seeketh the truth of creation. How will the truth of the Ea, who uncovered all only to desire the end, fall upon her ears? To define the laws of creation would have been no small feat, even for the Ea. Nay, having eternal life and hence no sense of haste would only have made it harder. Such tremendous drive for knowledge they once must have had, and I struggled to reconcile it with the listless beings before us. Whatever answers they found, it did not bring them happiness. You may be intimately familiar with the problem, know it like the back of your hand, yet be powerless to solve it. In the course of my struggles, I have often been made keenly aware of this fact. I wonder have the Ea never felt the same frustration. It's true that a lack of knowledge can beget fear. Therefore, in theory, by acquiring all knowledge, it may be possible to attain peace. But as Hydaelyn told us, all those peoples who attempted to free their worlds from life's woes met with failure. And the Ea are among them, as their presence here attests. The tale we are about to hear will not be a happy one. A fundamental truth. We will hear it, of course. Let us learn what has led such an enlightened people to this indolent end. Ere we join the Ea, there is one trifling matter I would fain investigate. Alia, Grahatia, might I trouble you for your assistance? But of course. Yeah, sure. My thanks. We shall head outside the abode if you would kindly follow me. I know not what mischief you're plotting, Urianger, but I trust you have our best interests at heart. The rest of us shall go on ahead to Elegia. Lest you worry, we won't start without you. Okay. Where are you, Urianger?
Very far away.
Can you please go away?
What, me?
Not you! The guy who is behind me! Aye, this place shall serve. Is it the spring that we wish to investigate? Pray forgive me, my friends, but there's naught to investigate. It was but a pretense to speak in private. You have our undivided attention. As we have established here in Ultima Thule, those denizens of ruined stars are recreated in their twilight days. Yet one question doth arise in my mind. So faithfully formed are the simulacra, they believe themselves yet amongst the living. How dost thou suppose this is possible? Of course! She must have visited the stars of the dragons and the Ea before either race perished in their entirety. Thus could she make their emotions her own, and with them create more faithful simulacra than had she relied on any historical account. So too did I theorize, and upon that assumption, consider how those two races may have met their demise. According to thine own tale, Meteion perceived the emotions of those nearby as her own. A heightened sense of empathy intrinsic to her nature as an entelechy. In the course of her starfaring journey, if she encountered beings who strongly desired the cessation of their existence, she would be powerless before that desire. Even as she possesseth the power to grant it, the power of dynamists. It's my supposition that, overwhelmed by their longing for death, Meteion did unleash Dynamis and ushered the dragons and the Ea onto their doom. Of course, such was not always the outcome. Full many stars did she find already lost to ruin. In order to create a terminus, however, the fervent desire for the end is essential. Therefore, should you struggle to find the way forward, pray ask yourselves this. In the place where you stand, whose is the soul that yearneth most desperately for oblivion? Why do you tell us this now? Never again would I betray your trust. This pledge I did make to my comrades. In bringing thee into my confidence, I would remain true to my word. Urianger, don't even think about sacrificing yourself. As for thee, let us consider it my fitting reward for the secrets I harbored for the Crystal Exarch. I once placed my faith in thy chosen path, walking at thy side, full knowing that we were bound for thy demise. I ask now that thou returnest the favor, and abide in faith as I fulfill mine own destiny. If you say my debt has come due, how am I to refuse? It's indelicate of me, I know full well, and I can but beg thy forgiveness. Yet even if I must needs go to such lengths, I cannot well feign ignorance of the answer I have found within. The answer to the question, in what moment might I stand strongest? After all that we have been through, I will only say this. Do what you must. Do what you must and see your conviction through. I shall, my friend. I shall. Without further ado, then, let us go to join our comrades. It seems everyone is accounted for. Shall we then? I'm not sure, Y'shtola.
Please continue. Tell us about this truth you discovered.
Very well. Bear in mind, however, that the purpose of this conversation is not to impart scholarly knowledge, for such requires that you comprehend the subject matter, which you will not. We will forego the intricacies of our scientific methodology and deal only with the conclusion, the end of our society and our world. We acknowledge, with regret, that your star is in the midst of the same panic-induced cataclysm that befell Deneb 3. As such, in order to avoid causing undue distress, we will refrain from explicitly stating how much time you have remaining.
You are entirely too kind. I pray you recount your tale as you see fit.
In the beginning, the universe was but a tiny particle. Then suddenly, this particle began to expand.
Yay, Big Bang!
Having remained entirely in the bounds of your star, the phenomenon may be difficult for your kind to grasp. But this expansion has since continued unabated. Speculating that the universe could not grow indefinitely, we sought to learn what might occur, and made a worrying discovery.
Are they talking about the heat death of the universe?
The stars will continue to spread apart, as will their finite thermal energies.
Maybe?
Eventually, all heavenly bodies will grow cold and freeze. No new stars will be born, and the universe will enter into an eternal ice age.
Yes, they are talking about it.
In hopes of proving that this determination was erroneous, we scrutinized our research from all angles, even as we sought to avert the everlasting winter. The endeavor proved fruitless. So infamously so, in fact, that it became synonymous with vain effort. The universe as we know it would end, and there is no way to prevent it. Beneath the weight of this knowledge, our society stagnated. Though we had time still, it was a cold comfort. Why strive for anything when desolation is assured? When our wealth of wisdom, accumulated since the dawning of our kind, would be forever lost. No civilization would rise from our ashes. No scholar recover our knowledge. In silence unbroken, naught would stir. Intellect was once our pride. Overnight, it became our shame. Our works, monuments to futility. Immortality, our greatest invention, became a source of suffering. Rather than suffer on, many chose to unmake themselves by means of etheric exsanguinators. Etched upon these stones are the testaments of such souls, though many left no words at all, thinking it a pointless gesture.
Once we have obtained vessels of flesh, we likewise intend to vanish.
If you understand this, understand aught of our tale, you will abandon your quest for knowledge. Ignorance truly is bliss. If you would cling to your illusory happiness, remain primitive and pure. It is the only way.
So that's your story. While I appreciate your advice, I will not heed it. Convinced though you may be of this truth, it is yours and not mine. Indeed, truth, I have ever believed, is in the eye of the beholder.
Are you suggesting that we have reached a faulty conclusion? That our science failed us?
Hardly. As you yourself said, the subject matter is beyond my comprehension. And that, I accept, is true. I do not possess the knowledge to prove or disprove your conclusion. In my mortal years, I doubt I could even approach the wisdom of the Ea. But of one thing am I absolutely certain.
No, Y'shtola, stop.
I would not be happier in ignorance.
Y'shtola, stop.
Y'shtola, no! You mustn't!
The most important lesson I've learned is that learning isn't simply passing one's eyes over words. Nay, it is when understood for oneself that knowledge attains its true value. This is what has sustained me, driven me onward in joy and wonder, in anger and sorrow. The universe may end, and all may be for naught, but I will live as I always have. I will always seek out new knowledge, and no conclusion of yours, no matter how grim, can dampen my desire.
I suppose it is only to be expected. Their feeble minds cannot fathom the terrifying gravity of it all.
But worry not. We consider it our duty to enlighten you, and we will not stop until you grasp the full extent of our despair.
No, Y'shtola.
Keep calm and listen well. Though my body will soon dissipate, there may be a way to restore it. Asm's magic. So long as our souls remain, you can use it to summon us back. But you mustn't, for it would mean losing our way forward. This I only reveal so that you can promise not to invoke the magic. We came here knowing what victory may cost, so press on. Press on. And do not look back.
Oh. Come on.
I shall join you.
What?
As subterfuge is not required, thou shalt not suffer for mine absence.
Urianger.
My resolve hath never been as strong as thine. Full oft have I wavered in my decisions, and afterwards been stricken with regret. In spite of this, I may still stand with my comrades, supporting them as they attempt the greatest of feats. This truth I have learned in the course of our journey. And many though my shortcomings may be, I may also claim to excel in prophecies. My studies, into which have granted me the flexibility of mind needed to bend this malleable reality. Thus shall I hope that thou mayest have the strength to resist, and our comrades the strength to continue.
With you to urge us on, how could we possibly fail?
Oh, come on! Not both of them!
What's this? An extinguished civilization. Rekindled.
That's right. Our quest doesn't end here. We'll press on, and we will find you.
There. That's where you'll find me.
Is that another star?
Of the stars we visited, most were already devoid of life. And where there was life still, the inhabitants wished for death. But even death, we learned, isn't truly the end. It is but a part of the cycle of rebirth. Souls return to the star, or in its absence, a larger flow. And eventually they are reborn, alive again, to know suffering anew. True salvation lies not in dying. It lies in not being born. This is the gift I would give to you. To all life on beautiful Etheris. To that end, we created an egg wherein life cannot quicken. That dead sun. Attain it if you can, before your friends' emotions fade away, along with their protection.
Okay. Are you alright?
No, I'm not. Of all the Scions, I feel these three are the closest to me. I am about to lose it, if something happens to them. Never have I felt such emptiness. It's as if a part of me is gone. Yeah, Alphinaud, tell me about it. I'm fine, Alia. I am not. Like I said, our quest doesn't end here. Are you all ready to continue on? Let us make for where that light shone. Y'shtola and Urianger have opened the way for us. If you never finish the MSQ, no one else has to die. Turn it off, honey. We are not playing anymore. Judging by the direction, this should be the place. Some manner of Ea device. If our friends awakened it, then it should be safe to use. Yes, I can feel it. The ether emanating from the arcane pattern. This is a portal, and no mistake. Let us see where it leads. Gr'raha's world get destroyed as well? Okay, where are the guys? There they are. Amazing! Yet another civilization. Attacked as soon as you arrived? Not the most welcoming of places, is it? We must try to find denizens who are amenable to conversation. We should also get the lay of the land, see how far we can go. I'll help Alphinaud with that. In the meantime, you and G'raha can search for friendlier folk. Apart from hostile beings, take care with your footing. I mislike the look of this terrain. Not knowing what the locals are like, you'd best take care yourselves. We'll find you once we have finished exploring. I expect the twins will seek the outermost bounds of the Isle, so I propose we search the central area. There are machines patrolling here and there, sentinels, in all likelihood. Like those you encountered, they will most certainly attack any who venture too close. Like those you encountered, they will most certainly attack any who venture too close. So let us avoid them and look for others that appear more approachable. Look, Alia, the machines here do not appear hostile. Let's see if we can communicate with them. Begging your pardon, but we're searching for the denizens of this star. Unknown life forms detected. Assigning generic label. Interplanetary travelers. Greetings and welcome to the planet Blip Bloop. The planet... what? Could you please repeat that? It appears your hearing organ is unable to process the name in our tongue. It may be translated into yours as Alphatron. Our people, meanwhile, are called the Omicrons, and you stand within one of our outposts. The Omicrons, you say? And what is it that you do here? We are preparing for war. As we presently do not have a designated target, you have nothing to fear. Should your star become designated, however, you will be taken into custody and or terminated. Not a little frightening, these Omicrons, but at least they seem to be forthright. I will see what else I can learn from this fellow, if you could try speaking with the others. Autonomous weapon deployment complete. Vanguard armament upgrade complete. Munition levels satisfactory. Combat readiness assessment nominal. Awaiting instructions from Sir. Maintaining state of combat readiness. Measuring combat capability. Result negligible. Subject falls outside targeting parameters. Greetings, traveler. We are the Omicrons and our objective is self-enhancement. In order to achieve this, we venture forth in conquest to acquire combat data and resources. Most recently, we succeeded in subjugating the home world of the beings whose strength was said to be without parallel, the dragons.
Oh my god, again.
Well, this is his homeworld. Yet though the Endeavor yielded a wealth of combat data, the star was rendered barren and unable to yield resources. A subsequent costing determined that the losses incurred exceeded the gains. Greetings, traveler. When venturing outside the outpost, beware malfunctioning units. They do not heed Sir's commands and indiscriminately attack all non-Omicrons. For the avoidance of confusion, be advised that Sir is the alias of Stigma 1. Sir issues instructions to our forces as the foremost of the 6 strategic matrices that bear the designation Stigma. You learned a few things? So did I. Ere we share our findings, however, I believe it best to step outside the outpost. Come with me. Ah, there you are. We have finished surveying the area. This will come as no surprise, but there was no way forward. There were portals like the one we used to get here, but those that worked only sent us to isolated isles. Then as before, we must locate the embodiment of the emotion that bars the way. What of yourselves? Did you find anyone to speak with? Yeah, we did.
several weird sounding robots.
Yeah. So the Omicrons seek to advance themselves through conquest. Following their victory over the dragons, they stand ready for the next campaign, but their leader has yet to issue new commands, and so they wait. In such a place, who could it be that fits Urianger's description? A soul whose yearning for oblivion surpasses all others. Urianger said this? During our investigation before we joined you in Elegia. So that's the way of it. Why couldn't he just say it to all of us? Given what we know of this place, it's certainly a curious state of affairs. While the dragons and the Ea longed for death, the Omicrons long for conflict. As much as that may lead to destruction, it must be considered a distinct desire. In order to find the source of the dominant emotion, I believe we should seek out their leader, this Sir. According to MO32, the first Omicron with whom we spoke, there is a console by which we might communicate with it. What? MO32 also added that it would be a pointless exercise, but that in itself, I believe, is worth investigating. What say you? Yes. I say yes. Determined look and nod. I say yes. Pointless exercise? What does that mean, I wonder? Considering the Omicron's single-minded character, the lack of new orders does seem unusual. I agree that we should seek out their leader. So the console we seek lies on the far side of this isle. Given the nature of the ground, the route may not be entirely direct, as it seems. Let us all watch our step as we make our way. Alphinaud? Or Alisaie, what are you going to say? Greetings, sir. Can you hear me? Say something if you can. Awaken! Activate! Password! Well, I tried. The glow would suggest it's still operational, but how are we to interact with it? This appears to be the console, but it seems unresponsive. Would you care to take a look at it? Are you going to say anything else, G'raha? Judging by the size of the Omicrons we have met, I'm reasonably confident that the console is controlled via the orb. You try touching, smacking, and attuning with the console, but there is no response. No luck, I see. But there must be a way to activate it. There must.
Well, I'm out of ideas.
As am I. Operating such consoles is trying enough. But if we can't even activate it...
Perhaps there is a way.
Not by sacrificing yourself, I hope, G'raha. You have tendencies.
First, consider the world that has been recreated here. Its inhabitants were machines who gathered combat data to enhance themselves. And among the many wars they waged, the most notable was that against the dragons. As you've doubtless surmised, I believe this was the homeworld of Omega.
Yeah, I am well aware of
the
that.
jamming device to defeat it, a device which generated massive bursts of lightning, its sole weakness.
That's all well and good, but what does that... Wait. You're not thinking to strike the console with lightning, are you?
I think he's thinking exactly
As a
that.
matter of fact, I am. Ask yourselves this. Why would an entity as puissant as Omega not be designed to suppress the effects of lightning?
Because it relies upon it, or something akin to it, as a source of energy.
My thoughts exactly. And there is a good chance the same is true of the Omicrons and their devices. So, shall I cast caution to the wind and try something reckless and dramatic?
As long as you survive, you can, G'raha. Have at it. I'm not sure this is a good idea. Or I could use my custom-made Omega Gemmer. What is my... What am I doing?
Wait, you still have it! Sid and Nero's legendary device which brought low the superweapon Omega. Wait, The actual device was much too big to lug around, so you must only have the control module. And there I was getting all excited. Never mind. An old-fashioned spell will suffice.
G'raha, please. We are running! Like, if something happens... And?
It worked!
Oh. Interdimensional rift music kicked in.
Oh, hello, Gladys.
But it's not a female voice, so it doesn't count.
Strategic Matrix Sigma 1 now online. As a primary strategic matrix, you may address me as Sir. Checking for new communications. None found. All units, please maintain current state. End transmission. Closing connection.
No, wait.
Wait! We have questions for you. Of late, no mission orders have been issued. Why not? Has there been some manner of trouble?
Reply. The Extended Operations Unit is yet to determine guidelines for future assignments. All strategies are calculated, devised, and actioned in accordance with set guidelines. In the interim, all citizens are directed to maintain a state of combat readiness. End reply. Awaiting query.
Can you tell us why the Extended Operations Unit hasn't yet determined the guidelines?
Unable to comply. Information unavailable or access restricted.
In that case, is it possible for us to communicate directly with the unit?
Access denied. Unable to establish connection.
Is there anything you can tell us? Have there been any abnormalities, like a threat to the star or widespread unrest?
Reply. Negative. All citizens continue to operate at maximum efficiency. If your operations are suboptimal, please proceed to a maintenance facility for evaluation. Otherwise, stand by at your designated post. End reply. End transmission. Closing connection.
But...
I could activate it again, but I doubt it would be productive.
We need to find the operating unit. Figure it out.
If all the Omicrons really were running as efficiently as it claimed, then I doubt they were hoping for life here to end. As this Sir told us, there just haven't been any new instructions, and everyone is standing by.
Should be standing by at any rate. If there are those that are neglecting their duties, perhaps we can glean a clue from them. I propose we take another look around, and also try to find the operations unit.
Yep, Alphinaud came to the same conclusion. Operations unit. I remember when we set Omega loose to deal with Shinryu. An elegant weapon, we once thought, and here we are now, visiting a recreation of its homeworld. I can only imagine how else these beings will surprise us. Though I never encountered Omega myself, in conceiving the means to send the Crystal Tower to the First, we borrowed much from its mastery of the Rift. Indeed, so many times did I read the report of your battle, I believe I could recite it word for word. Why, you have eidetic memory. Of course you do. Omega's miniature likeness also survived to the future, if a little worse for the wear. I must confess, I was delighted to see it again in the present. Let us focus on search on the outpost. Alisaie and I will try to speak with the Omicrons this time, in the hopes we might learn something new. Meanwhile, perhaps you and G'raha could observe them from a distance. These beings are systematic and routine by nature. If there are any aren't, it shouldn't be too difficult to spot them. If there are no questions, then let us begin at once. As we came this way, I believe I spied a promising vantage point. Follow me. Sure. You know I would follow you to the ends of the world, right?
Oh, we just did.
And here we are. I see the twins are wasting no time with their inquiries. Let us begin observing the Omicrons. They're supposed to be standing by, so we should look for any that aren't. Oh, we are going to look and target, I suppose. I helped. What is that? You again? That's no Omicron, it's an ambystoma, and especially lively one at that. Perhaps it snuck aboard the Ragnarok, but however it came to be here, it seems to be completely in its element. Why do we keep seeing this guy? Okay, you are weird. Wait. Ah, I couldn't. The Omicron wanders about ceaselessly, as if lacking a clear objective. Oh, I hit it actually. An Omicron wandering aimlessly? Where? There! Aha, I see it! It's left the base. Let's follow it. Yes. I'm speechless, like looking at the tree. Hi! What is your query? Oh, you found it! What are you doing here? I'm looking at the tree.
Yeah, but why?
Quite an unusual specimen. What is the device attached to it? The tree is a sample collected from another star. As it cannot survive in our environment, however, it requires life support. This is the function of the device. To go to such lengths to sustain it. Is there something special about this tree? Being foreign matter, protocol requires that we study it. As this task has been completed, the specimen may be discarded. However, when I behold the tree, I am made to feel as though there is a problem. In order to become strong, we have continued to enhance ourselves. Like we did countless others, we conquered the star whence this tree came. It is the last remnant of a dead world, and there is nothing towards which it may aspire. Yet it grows, extends its branches, sprouts leaves, produces seeds. Why does it seek to continue? Why was it made to behave in such a way, and to what end? I do not understand. Wait, you're trying to understand? I see. Out of curiosity, does this pertain to your duty? No, it does not. My apologies. I shall return to my designated post and assume a state of combat readiness. So it was acting outside of orders. Perhaps it's simply a malfunction in Omicron. These are by no means uncommon. But it may also be a unit possessed of the ability to make decisions. One not unlike Sir. I believe this bears further investigation. Why are you smiling like that? Don't give me a fright. To endeavor to live even if we must depend on forces beyond our control. Why is this music kicking in exactly? Tell me, Alia, one day when this adventure becomes a part of your epic, do you think I'll be mentioned in it? What do you mean? Of course, why wouldn't you be? Maybe in a footnote? You are not here, so you can be in a story. Oh, right. Yes, you are not here so you can be in a story. No, you're here to live, you idiot. Forgive me. Let there be no doubt that fame and glory could not be further from my mind. And yet, I'd be lying if I said that I don't relish the thought of my name being spoken in the same breath as yours. Well, we had best get on with our task. G'raha, don't you dare. Tracking down Sir and understanding the nature of the emotion which bars our way. We should return to the outpost for now. The others will wish to hear about the errant Omicron. G'raha says you find a suspicious Omicron. That's good, because the units here were of no help. They all had the same thing to say about the extended operations unit, that there is no way to arrange a direct meeting. Still, that's surged to provide that it's business as usual at the outpost. But enough about us. Tell me you learned something more useful. An Omicron trying to make sense of the meaning of life? None of the others were even a fraction as philosophical. This unit may well be in a position of leadership, perhaps even one of those that comprise Sir. As we know, the Omicrons invade other stars and enhance themselves using the spoils of conquest. With the technology at their disposal, they should be able to alter their bodies, be it in part or in whole. Setting aside the question of motive, if Sir, for example, wished to have an ordinary Omicron's body, I see no reason why it would not be possible. The problem is how to go about ascertaining if that's what happened. When I attempted to probe further, it promptly ended the conversation. If it is indeed Sir, I doubt it would willingly reveal its true identity. I have an idea. We use lightning on the console again, but we make it stronger. Much stronger. At that moment, should the unit exhibit a reaction that could suggest that it has a connection to Sir? An inspired idea. I dare say it's worth a try. I had a feeling you'd be on board. This time you must allow me to do the honors. I will stand guard in case your incantation draws sentries to the scene.
Okay, so combat.
For my part then, I will approach our suspect and divert its attention. During which time, Alia, I want you to observe it closely for anomalous behavior. I should mention that shortly before you returned, an Omicron appeared from the same direction. Rather than entering the outpost, however, it headed off towards the console. At first I assumed it was a unit on patrol, but perhaps... That could only be our errant Omicron. We must seek it out and begin our operation at once. Alright, Alphinaud and I will stand by at the console, and when it's time, I'll unleash a veritable storm. This will work, I'm sure of it. After all, our comrades are watching over us. Come, my friend, let us find this doubt-plagued Omicron. It's you again. What is your query? You're the one that was observing the tree, are you not? Full glad I am to find you again. I have a question for you see, about the device which sustains the tree. Provided it does not necessitate the disclosure of restricted information, very well. G'raha has begun distracting the Omicron. Soon, Alisaie will strike the console with lightning. Identify an anomaly. Okay. Your head! An anomaly, you say? Performing diagnostic. Error confirmed. My connection to Central Command is suffering from intermittent failures. I must leave at once and present myself for maintenance at the nearest facility. You will excuse me. You're not going anywhere.
Not excused.
What you need, my friend, isn't maintenance. It's to confront the truth. While we spoke, our comrades struck the console used to communicate with Sir. That's the cause of your anomaly. You're connected to Sir, aren't you? Affirmative. To what end you sought to assert this fact, I do not know. But before we speak further, we must move away from the other units. I do not wish for them to know my true identity. Very well. Our friends are at the console. Let us head there.
As you have surmised, I am part of the shared intelligence of Sticker One. It was my charge to determine the optimal path to achieving my prime function. This body had been abandoned by its former owner and lay unused. I took it and abandoned my own, and with it, my duty.
May we ask why you did this? From what we gather, it seems to be a personal matter.
Our kind did not always look as we do now. Long ago, we possessed frail and feeble bodies. Beleaguered by stronger races, our ancestors took to augmenting their flesh in order to defend themselves. What began with limited parts eventually spread to the whole body, and at last, a means was discovered to convert the mind into data, rendering even the brain obsolete. Such complete mechanical beings were called the Omicrons, and by their might, we came to reign supreme over the star. But even then, we did not feel secure. For we knew that the universe was home to civilizations aside from our own. Civilizations that may be stronger still than us. Rather than risk becoming the subjugated, we chose to become the subjugator. We began our conquest of the stars, that we might acquire the resources and knowledge we needed to reign supreme. We were successful in that endeavor. So powerful did we become, we could lay low even the mighty dragons. But then something unexpected happened. I began experiencing an error. I could no longer determine an optimal path.
You were malfunctioning.
I performed numerous full system scans, each time finding no issues. Yet the error persisted. It was then that I speculated. What could happen if we grew so powerful as to have no equal? To become stronger was essential to our existence. Our every action has been in service to this objective. But if nothing lies beyond this, can it be truly said that it was essential? Have we been engaging only in wanton destruction?
You could find no threat to justify your purpose.
The Omicrons will never leave this star. They will stand by until their reserves of energy is spent. For I have no path to offer them.
It is not our place to pass judgment on the deeds of the Omicrons. But surely, this does not have to spell the end of your people. With your power and knowledge, the possibilities are endless. Why not seek out a new purpose?
That is impossible. In the beginning, we had a higher purpose than our pursuit of power. But we lost sight of it when we so irrevocably altered our fundamental forms. When we cast aside our flesh, so too did we cast aside all that defined us. Nothing remains of who we once were. I have no aspirations. No longer can I dream. The fighter's spark is lost. Lost amidst circuitry and code and commands.
No, don't.
I believe I know how to overcome this despair.
No, the G'raha, don't.
The words are ready in my mind, but ere I speak them...
No, please don't. No.
I want you to make me a promise. Be it across time or space, our promises have always connected us. And so I ask that you indulge me once more, that this won't be the end. Is that so? In that case, I won't hold back. First, I want to visit Ishgard with you. Properly. We scarcely had time to look around last time. I should like it very much if you could show me the sights. Next, you must regale me with your greatest adventures, in the places where you lived them, if possible. I may have read about all your deeds, but there is no substitute for a first-hand account. And last but not least, a new adventure together, unlike any we've experienced before. We'll travel the lands, cross the seas, and take to the skies upon the eternal wind, and it will be marvelous. It will. If you would humor me a moment. When we awaken each morning, how can we prove that we're the same individual who retired the night before? Through the remembrance of past events, we might say. We have our memories, yet there are times when we forget or recall incorrectly. What of our bodies, then? It is the same one, we might say, yet technically speaking, as living beings, our bodies are constantly changing. It will never be as it was at an earlier point in time. Our souls are no more immutable. On our star, people are known to inherit the souls of others, yet they are decidedly different beings. For my part, I've subjected my totality to much and more. I've made my body into an extension of a tower, blended my soul and memories with those of another self. And each time I would ask myself, what is it that makes me, me?
Were you able to determine an answer?
No. But that doesn't mean I'm confused. It simply means I'm the same as everyone else. So I posit this. Who we were need not prescribe what we now hold in our hearts. Whatever came before, what matters most is the present. For me, that is being here with my friends, full proud of how much we've grown together. So I urge you to not give up. Heed your heart's desire, and hope that the future you long for shall be realized.
I cannot. We cannot. We cannot understand desire, nor comprehend hope. We do not know how to create such things.
We are not unlike, you and I. I too have struggled to find the courage to express and embrace my wants. If you like, I will tell you a tale. A tale of a world on the brink. Of a people who never gave up on the future. Of a man who realized his grandest dreams and then awakened to a grander reality.
You idiot! Just once, stay with us to the end!
I need a break, guys. A crystalline path. He has paved it for us. They all leave so easily, as if it's nothing. How do they think we feel? The next time we meet, I'll give him such a flick, and that will be just the start. That crystalline path. G'raha has paved it for us. Difficult as it is, we must carry on, for our friends and all who await us in faith. So come, let us seek the path's beginning. It appears to be near the outpost. I won't let it break me, don't worry. I never have, and I never will. Well, I am broken. What are we going to do about that? Look, Alia, a portal has opened. It will surely deliver us through. It must. Look up, Alia. It's as though the stars are being devoured by the dead sun. And that's where we are headed, into the maw of darkness. Well, here's where the path begins, and it ascends to dizzying heights. Let us make our way, one sure step at a time. Now more than ever, we must walk as one. Will you go and take Alisaie's hand? Always. Our friends got us this far. Their courage, their strength, their wisdom, their love. We owe it to them to continue, no matter how long it takes. Thancred would scout the road ahead. Y'shtola and Urianger would trade opinions on esoteric subjects. G'raha would join in their discussion, or else chat with me and Alisaie about the mission. Estinien would be at the rear, a party at present. All the while you would come and go, wherever you are needed, and together we would travel. All I can hear are my footfalls, my heartbeat. It's so much quieter now. But the fact we can breathe and continue on is proof that the others are still with us. They are, aren't they? The portal is barely visible from up here. Truly, we have come far. Much farther than would have been possible had we kept chasing perfect ideals as we did in the past. It's because we have known failure and frustration, that we have learned and grown from them, that Hydaelyn has entrusted us with this mission, with the fate of the very star. It's all a dream, isn't it? A long, elaborate dream. Any moment now, I'll wake up in my bed, still a student, grandfather alive. I would go about my day, relived as the fragments of that other life fade away. And that would be happiness, wouldn't it? That none of it... No, I won't give up these experiences. Good and bad, they are mine. They are me. Rest assured I'm fine, but thank you for your concern. What of yourself? Though we can't afford to be too leisurely, neither need we rush unduly. We have crossed an impossible distance to stand where we are now, and we are but a few steps away from the journey's end. It will be over before we know it. Me? Oh, I still have plenty of legs left in me, don't you worry. It's you I'm worried about. You always push yourself so hard for us, for everyone. And while we are here, we will make sure to bear our share of the burden. Well, this is it. The end of the path, and the beginning of whatever awaits. There will be greater hardships. We may be made to feel powerless. Yet come what may, let us have no regrets. No, let us have pride in what we have achieved. In what we achieved and how it changed us for the better. That's worth fighting for. And dying for. As they did. There are some structures up ahead. Still a ways to go before we reach the dead sun. Given all this, I know how naive it must sound to hope it all works out somehow. Still, you'll forgive me if I wish for it all the same. And for you most of all. Not that you all people need it. It's just, after all the help you have given me, for once I want to be the one to help you. Okay, but don't sacrifice, okay? This is almost... normal? It's not unlike many cities we know, but it's deathly quiet. Mayhap the inhabitants are within the buildings, or invisible to our senses. Wrong on both counts, there's simply no one here. What? Oh, you. Meteion! This is how I found it when I arrived. Another star which once pulsed with life, but no longer. How it ended, I do not know. Invasion, sickness, suicide. None can say. None live to speak for the dead. They're gone. Gone. Search all you like, but you will only end up turning back. If what Meteion says is true, what are we supposed to do? You think you have caught me? This form is barely a drop from the ocean that swells within the dead sun. Even so, I could easily unmake you. You're only still alive because of your comrades, but they cannot protect you forever. Until they fade away, I will satisfy myself with watching you try and fail to find a way out of this lifeless place. If there's no one here, then neither should there be emotion to bar our way. Yet Meteion seems convinced we will turn back. What riddle is this? If only I knew, Alphinaud. One way or another, we must find the way forward. Let us make a thorough search of the city. Whatever Meteion may have said, we should confirm it with our own eyes. We need to have a look around. Indeed. At the very least, it doesn't appear to be a sprawling place like those before. If we split up, it shouldn't take too long to cover the area. There doesn't seem to be anyone here. Perhaps you could try calling out. Is anyone here? If anyone has heard you, they do not respond. Were it not for the thick layer of dust, one could imagine someone drinking from these cups but moments ago. The object resembles a tree and appears to have been fashioned from a stone-like material. Erected in place of an actual tree or to serve some other purpose, perhaps. Regardless, there is no one left to explain, to tell the story. This place is reminiscent of a bar, but neither patrons nor staff are anywhere to be seen. Egg-shaped containers line the shelves, with a loose few sitting on the counter. Vessels for the beverages, in all likelihood. A venue bustling with activity, until it was not. In the distance you glimpse Alisaie picking her way through the ruins, but otherwise spy no signs of life. If anyone can hear me, say something! Your call echoes faintly before being swallowed by the silence. This is so eerie. There is only ambient sound, nothing else here. I'm trying to see if there are ways to reach the nearby isles, just in case Meteion was bluffing. Though set slightly off the ground, this appears to be a door, while the objects to the left could be letterboxes. The door is rusted shut, and the film of dust all over suggests no one has come through in a long, long time. The isle's edge already, and there only appears to be this park here. How it must have bustled with life once upon a time. Alia, take a look at this. If the road was a little longer, we could take it to just beneath the dead sun. But I suppose this is where the reconstruction ends. How about you? Did you find anything of interest? Literally nothing. I see. I noticed the same things. Cups left upon tables, chairs out of place. I don't know what happened here, but I do know I don't want to be alone anymore. We have searched enough for now. Let's find Alphinaud and compare what we have learned.
Did you find anything?
No. This place is completely deserted. And I can't see how we're supposed to move on from here.
Neither can I. It's quite the quandary. There are no denizens to bar our path, yet there is no way forward.
For another mystery, we did find signs of very recent life. You'd swear everyone just vanished into thin air. I wonder how many ruined worlds like this has Meteion seen.
Could it be? Yes. Yes, I believe I may have puzzled this out.
What?
Despite how it appears, it's no different this time. There is someone here who has wished for this ruin. And I believe that together,
No, 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 no,
I
no,
can
no,
overcome
no.
their will.
Don't, please, please don't, please. Stop, not another word. No.
I'm sorry, but there is a chance, and I must seize it. For everyone. And for myself. I will not pretend otherwise. I have my fears. Not for myself, but for you. The last to remain. You are no stranger to carrying the burden of others. But I can only imagine how heavy the weight would be this time. As your friend, I cannot bear the thought of making you suffer so.
Please don't.
Then why suggest such a thing? It's too much to ask of anyone, even her. Why must she be the one? Why must she fight alone? More than a hero, she's a dear friend. Not only to us, but to so many others. There are so many people in the world who care for you, and yet...
Alisaie, I have an idea. Given the nature of this realm, it may be possible to do more than unbar our friend's path. We might also pave her a new one. For instance, a path where she finds happiness at journey's end.
If everyone comes back.
This much, I think we can believe with the utmost conviction, no matter how deep our despair. So please, believe in us too, and press on. Thank you. What are you?
If the plan's decided, then let's not dally.
Ah, there you are. It was as I said, was it not?
It was. We couldn't find anyone. But this place isn't entirely deserted, is it? You are here. You sought out a Star of Promise and found a ruined husk. Like us, you explored the devastation. Like us, you were stricken. Horrified by the thought that so many lives could be snuffed out as if they were worth nothing. And the thought that you would have to bear the terrible tidings to Hermes. That which you saw and felt, you shared with your sisters. As did they share their own grim findings with you. Overcome by the pervasive despair of these stars, some of you inadvertently ushered their peoples to their ends. Knowing the horrors you know, anyone would feel the same. They would fear what lies ahead and struggle to move forward.
Fear? I had forgotten that such a thing existed. So focused have I been on shepherding despair.
If you can remember, then you can still face and overcome your own fear.
Why would I bother with such an insignificant emotion? If the despair I command is as a raging river, then fear is but a trickling stream. It can do nothing to alter my flow. You spoke with the Ea, yes? Heard their tale of what awaits the universe. It's true. The stars grow colder and more distant. Eventually, all will enjoy frozen solitude. Using the power of Dynamis, I'm hastening that process. In so doing, nothing will be born ever again. Everyone will remain dead. Alas, it will take time for that to happen. So in mercy, I sent you my gift, to spare you needless suffering. Don't worry. Even if no living witnesses remain to mark the event, I'll make certain that Aetheris has a proper end.
For all the power you wield, you're more fearful than the familiar you used to be. That Meteion feared simply to move forward. But your fear is such that you've given up on everything. I know it well. That sense of defeat. I've tasted my fair share of it. But as many times as we've fallen down, we've learned how to pick ourselves up and carry on. We take each other's hand, share in each other's courage, follow in each other's footsteps, and turn sorrow into strength.
There are times when we fail. We bear wounds that do not heal. But these experiences are part of life, and they make us stronger.
We rise, fall, and rise again.
No.
Don't worry about us. You must take the next step, and all the rest after that.
let them all be safe.
Oh no.
Cryle? Are you all right?
It's nothing. Just a headache. They'll be fine. I know they will.
They're not fine, Cryle.
Apologies for the interruption. A man arrived on the last ferry. An associate of the Scions. He wishes to speak with you at once.
Ooh, what? Who was that?
I don't know. Oh, Xenos?
That would be something.
Can it be Xenos?
Maybe. In the city devoid of life, you sense the presence of another. The sorrow of 1,000 worlds weigh heavy, and yet you can walk on.